How's it going, guys? And in today's video I want to talk about the walkers and every walker type that we have seen in the 3 shows. Okay, so it's not just The Walking Dead, I want to do all shows. Okay, and there's a lot more than you actually think there is, but I'm not going to break it down because I've seen a lot of people, when I actually search this up, I see a lot of people like categorize it by, oh, if they have no legs, oh, they lay on the floor so they're a different type of walker, and you're like, no, that's all the same class. Like, there are actually many types of walkers, but they just, some of them, like, they're just trying to pad out their list and like, oh, it's a walker that has no legs, so it's called a crawler, and you're like, no. Okay, so I'll do my version of the list with every different type of walker, okay, and if they're not on the list and you're like, ooh, I missed this out, I might have missed it, or I've just classed it as something else just because, oh, it's still a walker, it's just missing a leg, okay. So we're going to go one show at a time, and we're going to go from the start to the end of the show's period. So we'll start with The Walking Dead, move on to Fear, then World Beyond. Some walkers are in both, so I will then reference that when I get to that point. So let's get into the first one. So we're going to start with The Walking Dead, and Season 1, we are introduced to the Smart Walkers. Okay, if you ever watched Season 1 of The Walking Dead and the rest of the show, you might have realised the walkers in Walking Dead are nothing like the other walkers. Okay, the walkers in Walking Dead are more like Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead type of walkers, where they can use rudimentary tools. They've been seen in Season 1 to be able to climb. They know how to use door handles. They remember things from the past, okay? So, and even with this inconsistency, they have been explained by Robert Kirkman. It's like, they're fresh-term walkers. Fresh-term walkers can remember things from before. Okay, and it just slowly degrades as the brain degrades and rots. So I'm going to call them smart walkers, because even fresh-term walkers later on in the show, we don't see this, so we have smart walkers from Season 1. Now, moving on to Season 2 of The Walking Dead, we're introduced to the actual walkers we see most of the time. This is the most common type of walker. They just kind of walk around, eat, lay down, sometimes have legs, sometimes don't, lay down and just kind of pretend to be dead. These are the walkers that, depend on the writing, can do whatever they want, okay? Like, sometimes they just decide to go to sleep. Sometimes they decide to be silent. Sometimes they're loud. They like to get in hordes. These are the generic walkers. In this season, we're also introduced to fat walkers, or bloaters, okay? These walkers are normally sometimes in water, and they swell up and get fat from waterlog, okay? These walkers also are full of a lot of pus, so they're very infectious. If you don't get bit and you get pus in you, you die from the infection or something like that. Okay, you get really sick from the infection. And we've only seen this type of walker about twice. Once in Season 2 and once in Season 11. The reason why we don't see fat walkers is because it looks stupid when you put a bunch of walker makeup on a fat person. That's the actual reason why we only got skinny people in The Walking Dead, except for these 2 occasions, just because it looks stupid to have a fat person in a walker suit. Okay, moving on to Season 3, we have another type of walker, which is the Riot Gear walker. I know it's technically still a walker, but I'm classing it as his own thing, okay? Because they have riot gear, okay? They are a lot harder to kill, because guess what? They have riot gear on. Plus side of them is, they can't bite you, because guess what? They have riot gear on, okay? These walkers are mostly in the prison. You don't see them anywhere else other than the prison, okay? I'm classing them. They are the prison walker, riot gear walker, okay? And moving on to Season 4, though, we are introduced to yet another walker. It's like a new walker each season, which is the, I'm going to call them the plague walkers. These walkers are noticed by excessive bleeding from the eyes, nose, and mouth. And the deadliness about this walker is, if you get their blood on you, and if you kill them, guess what? You now have a plague, and you die from the infection. Okay, they don't have to bite or scratch you anymore for you to die. All they gotta do is get their blood on you, and you die from infection, which is quite cool. It's a shame we only really saw them in Season 4, because it'd be quite a cool thing to have more of these plague walkers later on in the show. But we only saw them here, and they're actually one of my favourite types of walkers, the plague walkers. The next class of walker, I would say, is the nature walker. These walkers are in all 3 shows, okay, and we first see these walkers in about Season 5 onwards of The Walking Dead, and these are walkers that kind of have a bunch of like nature growing on them. Like, I think we remember seeing one with Carl, and it's a walker that's kind of lay on the floor, it's been crushed down, it can't move, so stuff's growing over it again. Like, nature's claiming it back. We also saw in Season 7 with going out the water, Oceanside, with barnacles growing on them. I think one of my favourite nature walkers is on World Beyond, though, which is the walker that has bees living in it. Okay, and I remember the group went up to the walker, tried to kill it, and then it turned over and it opened up, bees flew out. Yeah, we got bee walkers, which I was going to make it his own thing, but nah, it's a nature walker. So everything to do with nature where a walker has been incapacitated somehow or something's growing on it that is alive, like moss, trees or anything, I'm going to class as a separate walker is a nature walker. Now, moving on to Fear the Walking Dead, and they got some really good walkers. So, the first walker is the walker from Season 1 to 3, okay. We don't get the, you would say, the iconic walkers on Fear until Season 4, actually, because Season 1 to 3 have a different type of walker, and I'm going to call them the Fear Walker or the Infected, because they're not called walkers, they're the Infected. And the whole thing about this is that they just look very different to every other type of walker we have ever seen in the universe, okay. They are very different because they have bright blue eyes when they turn. Like most walkers, they kind of have this dead, kind of like grey, like kind of cataracty eyes, like maybe they just got a little black dot, or they don't have eyes at all, okay. But in Fear, Season 1 to 3, when you die, your eyes turn bright blue, like a very distinctive blue, okay. And there's nothing ever special about this walker, like even though they're before the smart walkers, they don't have any of the intelligence of the smart walkers. They're just blue-eyed walkers. And just because of how different they look to the rest, I'm going to class them as a different type of walker because of the difference, which is blue-eyed walker / Fear walker. Okay, so you might be thinking that the last one was kind of cheaty, but I have something that's good. The Radiation Walker. These are my favourite just because how deadly they are. You don't have to be bit by them to die. Even though no characters died from it in the show, if you get any of their blood on you, if you get any, if they touch you, you're contaminated and you have to immediately go try and clean yourself, they can kill you with just a touch, in a way. These are walkers that have been affected by radiation and they absorbed up all the radiation. And they are just super deadly because being near them can kill you. These walkers were introduced in Season 5, 6, and they're going to be a massive part of 7. These walkers are very deadly. They're probably maybe the most deadliest walker on the shows because just being near them, getting touch of something that they've been near can kill you. Like, they're very deadly like the Plague Walkers. But unlike the Plague Walkers, if you don't clean yourself in time, don't really get rid of the contamination, you're dead, okay? With the Plague Walkers, antibiotics saves you. Radiation Walkers, they do not, okay? You're dead if you do not. You have a very small time to clean yourself. If you do not clean yourself, or if you do not get rid of your weapon, you're contaminated and you're dead. Now, this next walker is in World Beyond Season 1 and mostly 2, and Fear the Walking Dead Season 6. And I class this as the Human Walker. The name's a bit misleading, but this is a walker that has been somehow altered by a human to kind of be different, okay? Like an example on Fear was the walkers that had been taxidermied. They've had stuff attached to them like spikes and stuff. They were also in The Walking Dead. I forgot the walker in Season 7, the walker with all spikes on him. Any walker that has been made more deadly with the assistance of humans is, I would class, kind of a human walker, or let's just call them the improved walker. And that is my video. Do you agree with my entire list of all the different types of walkers? Do you think I'm missing some? Or do you think I've just kind of made up some with kind of like the Fear Walker? Please tell me, I'd like to know. What do you think about the video? If you want more, there should be something somewhere on the screen where you can click for more. And I might as well talk to you guys later. So goodbye and see you later.